you say it's you're a consumer, but this is the thing. I think everyone, like, we've literally been trained to do this. Like,
Yeah.
so I think I've kind of always missed a bit of that gene. Like, I think like, my dad has kind of always instilled it into me. He's very, very similar. Like, just has no, like, we'll both spend money. Like, so, like, for example, like our car, like, I would just buy. I don't care about cars. It's purely to get from A to B, but I'd rather spend more so that I'm not constantly repairing it, sort of thing. And it's not the type of car. And like, I'll research and find the cheapest car that is reliable, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
and,
I know
and,
what you
and
mean.
can
Yeah.
fit our needs, sort of thing. But it has to, so. But my point that I was going to say is, I think, like, what you're doing with your channel is so good and it's so relatable. And I think what I've said to you as well before is that when you start, when you really go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole and everything, it just forces good habits. So exactly like you say, is like, once you've saved that Bitcoin, it's saved. That's, whereas most people have no savings, like
Yeah.
zero, and they're living off credit and literally like living month to month, sort of thing, paycheck to paycheck. But it's not only made you better at saving, it's made you go and make more money, by just Uber Eats and things like that. Whereas
Yeah.
most people would just sit on the sofa all evening and watch TV. And that's what they would do every day, all day, every day, sort of thing. Whereas, and that's my point of, like, how Bitcoin just, that is the free market working. Like, that is what would happen if everyone was living in a free market. You would want to add value, you'd want to make more, and you'd also at the same time you'd want to save, or like stop spending it on frivolously on crap. Like, sure, people would still go on holiday, sure, people would still spend money and actually do things that are fun and what they want to do. But yeah, for a long time now, I value, like, all of my spending on experiences rather than stuff. So
Okay.
like, I remember years ago, try really instilling this, like, even with my wife, like, speaking to her a lot about it and saying, like, we spoke about a lot about, like, our values and things like that. And we both really valued things like travel and, going and actually doing stuff way more so than physical materials. Just because the physical materials, it's great, like, once you first get it, but then it's kind of like, can't really
Yeah,
do much with
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Whereas, particularly when we were living in Qatar, we had more expendable income. We would always, like, try and have some sort of trip lined up. So we always had that to look forward to. And then also, then when you go on the trip, you, like, have the fun and, like, the experience, and then also then you have the memories, and, like, it's
And it
just
gives you something to save for as well, I guess.
exactly, yeah. And what we were noticing is it made us just, like, all those times you go to the shop or you're browsing on the internet, whatever it is that you're doing, it's like, do I really need to do that? And it's like, well, actually, if I could just not spend this, then I could have a nicer meal when we go and
Yeah.
travel or something like that, and you've always got that thing to convert it to. And it's the same with Bitcoin. Like, it's like, should I go and buy this, or should I put it in Bitcoin? And this time in 4 years, I'd be able to get a much better one, or
Exactly. Yeah.
twice as much, or, whatever it is. And I think that's the thing that's so underrated about Bitcoin, or saving in, like, a sound money, than anything else. I think that's not talked about enough. But yeah, it just forces
I,
good habits, really.
yeah, it changes you a bit, basically, because you have to then assess everything about yourself. I think it's like, do I
Exactly.
really need this when I could buy this? Which I didn't have that kind of, I didn't have that thing before I discovered Bitcoin. I was, but now I have.